Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining us on a brand new episode of 420 grams. As promised, we come to you after every India game, and truth be told, we don't stay true on our promises because you didn't see us after the last two India games, but that was not because of things in our hand. And छोड़ो उसको मारो गोली यार अभी भाई इंडिया ने टूर्नामेंट जीता है ये कब देखने को मिलता है नहीं इस साल पहले भी देखने को मिला है और ये दूसरी बार ही देखने को मिल रहा है आर द इज द टाइड चेंजिंग is the scene changing with Indian football? Because you could be the staunchest critic, of this team, of the coach, or whatever you might feel, but you cannot deny the fact that the 90 minutes you saw right now was appealing. There was something very nice about it. There was an intensity to the game. There was you could make out from minute one that the boys had come out and they were on. They were come to play a final. वो दिख रहा था. And eventually, which is what happened. First half, चलो ठीक है. आपने first half खेला. It was a half of two halves. First India dominated, then Lebanon came back into the game. But then the second half, you started with Mr. Pawan Putra Hanuman starting as soon as this, the second half starts and scoring the goal. And then Lalianzuala Chhangte came into his own as well. And India rightfully winning the Hero Intercontinental Cup, beating Lebanon 2-0 in the process. And to talk about it, we got a full house today. We are joined by Floyd Pinto, the man who's been there at the top of coaching as far as Indian football is concerned and will be there for a very long time. We're also joined by Gautam Singh, former India captain and someone who's, of course, making waves as far as his new job in coaching is concerned. He's played for the Indian team for so long and there's so much to talk to him about, especially Sandesh Jangan and Anwar Ali. Two players, Floyd and Mangi, know really, really well. I'll start with you, Floyd, because this is your first show with us, bhai. Thank you so much, firstly, for taking your time and joining us. Your look back at the 90, India versus Lebanon.
First of all, thank you for having me on the show. Finally, I've been able to get on and make my debut after all whatever has come in between. But it's been a very positive feeling post this game, and every time I go back again to the Asia Cup qualifiers. Every time we have a good camp for them, a 20-30 odd day camp, they somehow turn to be playing in a very positive mindset, a very aggressive mindset. They look fit.
Yeah, आपने coach वाली
They look.
आते क्यों?
So I think that needs to continue. But all in all, like I said in one of our chats as well, it's a good preparation for the SAFF Championship. I think we should keep it at that because Lebanon, the way they've played, the way Vanuatu has played, the way Mongolia has played, is a very good representation of what India is going to come up against at SAF. But it's also going to be a step ahead because the teams that are there are going to be much more difficult to beat. So all in all, a good preparation. The teams look positive going into the SAF Championship. So fingers crossed we can win that as well. Yeah.
Mangi bhai, what was your key takeaway? Sandesh and Anwar, of course, one of the big positives, but overall, from the team's perspective, would I be right in saying that there was a certain intensity with which you saw this team playing, right from the from the first, as soon as the whistle blew for the game to start?
Yes, I think as Floyd also just mentioned that a lot of positive, but I think a couple of things which I was very pleased to be honest. One, I think I won't start with the back four or the goalkeeper, but I was very happy to see Chhangte and Thapa. To be honest, this is my personal opinion again.
Thapa,
to see
beautiful.
them, I think they are cementing their place, and also they are over time in the last few games they are becoming to be one of the core members of the team. I think the team at some point, if they continue with this consistent performance, the output I love it. In terms of with the ball and without the ball, Thapa, the work rate I think it was unmatched, and also Chhangte. To be honest, again today he was calm, composed with the ball. I think he was doing a lot of things right time at the right place. When he has to release the ball, he's doing it. When he has to have the ball, he's having it. So it was in the first half, he didn't have much of the ball. Second half, again, he started with a bang. Probably that's why, again, he had a great season in the ISL. And I think these two boys today, for me, to see that, we were looking for, okay, अगर मान ले सुनील चला जाएगा तो कौन replace करेंगे, कौन आएंगे. So I think these boys are stepping up. Other than चलो, and also I'm glad to see that Sandesh and Anwar, I think they are becoming strong. They're strong over time. They're forming a good strong partnership. Now I would
Yeah.
love to see them. A lot of positive vibes. These are two just things that I mentioned. But again, शायद लोग बोलेंगे कि यार आशिक और अपना सहाल के बारे में लोग बात करेंगे क्या हुआ ये नहीं हुआ. But honestly speaking, intent was there. I think transitions.
Intent
I think
was
the
there,
both transition in the both transition day where I think I want to see the GPS. I don't know how much distance you have cover or the speed.
सबसे ज्यादा उसने ही करा है सहल ने, सबसे ज्यादा उसने ही करा है.
हाँ पता नहीं. All I'm saying is I think both of them are assets at the moment. I know they need to do a lot with the ball timing का coverage करना है. I think the attacking third में I think those decisions making probably both of them has to do a lot. Not being asked चलो यार tournament जीता है, we're not criticizing them. I'm just saying the physicality, the speed, the strength. I think both got everything to be. I mean, I admire both of them. They can play football. The only thing is कब क्या करना है नहीं करना. I think उसको थोड़ा सा आने वाला 2-3-4 महीना में जल्दी पकड़ना पड़ेगा. Then I think we can be a very very strong team. I mean, and a competitive team.
इशफाक भाई, good to see you sir. हम तो यहाँ बात कर रहे हैं कि थोड़ा आप लेट आओगे क्योंकि आपने बोला था थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा, पर आप आ गए with your ring light and with your mic and for digital setup, for digital show.
How are you guys? I hope everybody had a good time. Good match it was, no? So I think everybody is happy.
But why?
Takeaway for you? हाँ जी मंगी please.
नहीं sorry. इस पापा को बोले कहाँ गेम मैच देखने घर पे क्यों नहीं देखते, कहाँ बाहर जाके देखना पड़ता है मैच.
यार इधर भी
सॉरी,
हमारे यहाँ पे सीजन टाइम है ना, ये फुटबॉल भी इसी टाइम पे यहाँ पे स्टार्ट होता है. तो इंडिया में मतलब जहाँ पे पहले स्टार्ट होता है फुटबॉल वो कश्मीर में ही होता है. तो अभी मैचेस चल रहे, जाना पड़ता है उधर इधर भी. But I managed to watch match and I think मुझे लगा defensive they were good. Like I would have seen attacking because Richard कुछ बोल रहा है.
सर हमारा भाई आज आप देख लो, ये हम चाहे जितने भी कहीं भी काम कर लें, हम आ ही जाएंगे किसी ना किसी तरह बंदे को लाके. चैट पे आ गया हमारा भाई. गुड भाई रिचर्ड, good to see you sir.
Honestly, like Lebanon is like somewhere like us only. They are in ranking also. See the football there. In fact, their level has gone down over the years. A lot of things are happening there, which And on the other side, I think we are improving, which is a good sign. And we showed today, like we are a better team. But like being happy, yes, it was a good competitive match. They got few chances, but I think 45 minute half was too much for them. I don't think second half they even showed up in the match because they couldn't even run, they couldn't even match. And then we having like really good changes coming in pace in the wings. I think that was the key. And, but honestly, I still believe we'll get much better opponents in Asia Cup. Don't even
no doubt
that like don't take this level to be in the same level. Like it's a good start. As I heard Floyd saying that it's a good preparation. Like ideal. Then SAFF, and then we have more matches coming where we're gonna face, I think, Iraq also, if I'm not
हाँ जी, इराक ही मिलेगा किंग्स कप में, क्योंकि थाईलैंड ले लेगा लेबनान को.
Yeah. So I think yeah, well, it's good. I think it's good to play with the Iraq because then you will see why हम कितने पानी में हैं. So that's a good thing. Like we need to play stronger team. Like maybe like start with ideal. This, as Floyd was saying, this is a perfect go. This same level, then up, and then check your abilities. And good match overall. I like defensive when we were 2-0 up. We were not clearing, playing the ball. I think that was really good to see. After a long, I saw that like our team not just kicking and then sitting back, but they completely managed and dominated the game.
But Mangi bhai, okay, before we get into the technicality of it, and before we get into what Coach Saab has said after the 90 minutes, उस पर भी बात करेंगे. बिकॉज ये कोचों की महफिल लगी हुई है हमारे साथ. अब हम भूल गए कि आप लोग प्लेयर होते थे, हम तो कहते हैं आप कोच हो सब के सब. बट मंगी, द फैक्ट that when India is playing at home, when India is playing a final at home, okay, forget technicalities, who you played, how you played, what is what you did. It is imperative that you win at home.
Yeah.
Because we are in such a place that these kind of wins, now the tide will be that everyone will talk about it for the next 2-3 days. You sort of get a boost, which is so much needed for Indian football.
Yeah, I think it was very important. Again, Floyd rightly mentioned about part, this beloved. I mean, हमारा target आगे है, but it was very important. I mean, ये थोड़ा सा ये जो next 1-2 दिन जो 2-4 दिन जो बात करेंगे इसके बारे में, I think it is very important. I mean, it's important because they deserve it. The boys deserve it. They earn, they earn the applause. They earn the ये जो लोग बात करेंगे इनके बारे में. I think it's very very important. I think it boosts your confidence also. But again, the final, it was different today. Different in a sense, understandable. We're going to meet a stronger opponent in coming months and coming weeks. But yes, it was a final. Mera, I mean, it's just my personal opinion again, because I keep saying this to the boys also. ये बोलता है कि semi-final, final. You need to play these matches.
Yes.
And not too many players get to play this semi-final, final. Whether it's a 4-team tournament, yeah, whatever 5-team or 6-team tournament. Playing a final, I'm talking about it from the mental perspective as well. So क्या होता है कि I think so-called the big players, so-called the players who perform at that level, उनका कैसा होता है मेरे ख्याल से कि they need to get that rhythm, like final में जाके. I think final sometimes to me it's much easier to play because final में ज़्यादा space मिल जाता है. लोगों को सब ये कि गलती नहीं करना है. I think once you get into that mental group में ना आने के बाद, then I think the players जैसा इसलिए मैं I was so happy to see Thapa and Chhangte. ऐसा लगा they are very they are ऐसा लग रहा है कि they are just playing another game. That's why I said they are cementing their play. It seems like दोनों को हटाना. I mean, चलो यार maintain. Maybe it's too early for me to say that, but it seems like from all of them are 10, 12, 15 कितना matches होगा 15 साल other than Sunil और अपना संजय छोड़ के सभी तो अभी and Gurpreet सभी अभी 15-20 मैच खेल रहे हैं इंडियन टीम के लिए. So everyone is trying to cement their place कि हाँ यही मेरा जगह यही बचाना है. So I mean these two boys very calmly, and I was really happy to say that. So कहने का ये मतलब है कि in the final I want to see that who step up. So I think those two boys were really outstanding for me today.
Floyd, generally, because Mangi is stressing on the fact that we don't play too many finals, right? So when we get to that situation, kabhi hota kya hai ki because you want to win that trophy, you want that boost so much that sometimes you forget what you've done in the past and you do everything in order to win that 90 minutes. If it requires you to be ugly, if it requires you to change your shop, whatever. But were you surprised then that at a final which you're playing at home versus the Lebanon, who was equal footing, like Ishwak said, you went in with a 4-3-3. You went in with Jeekson Singh as your only cover, which showed confidence on the likes of Sandesh Jingan and Anwar Ali as well, to really man the job over there because the other guys were all bombing forward.
As far as tactically is concerned, I feel they adjusted well to the game because although we started with a very high intensity, the better chances came for Lebanon in the first 15-20 minutes. There were chances where there were 2v2 at the back, 3v3 at the back, but we held well. But if not at home, then when? If you're playing at home against a team that is under the weather with respect to the conditions, under the weather with respect to playing back-to-back matches, you saw a player as soon as in the first 20 minutes were C-Mac mentioned we're going to play high intensity, we're going to press them. One of their center backs goes down. It's not a surprise, but it's an overuse injury over the last 3 matches that he's played. So if you're not going to use these conditions, then when? So we've done that really well. In whatever tournaments that we've played, whichever teams we've played on home soil, I think that's where we've taken the game to the opposition, irrespective of who they are. In the past, it was can we break down these oppositions, the combination play, the movements, the final thirds, the decision making, that final ball. That seems to have improved in this tournament. That's a little difference that I see in this tournament. Was that when it comes to Thapa, he's so versatile. He may have started a little bit ahead, but as you saw the game progress, he slotted in with Jackson. That allowed Nikhil and Akash to bomb forward. So at one point of time, we had Sunil Chhetri had the wingers around him as well as Sahal moving. So 4 players moving with freedom, which created the goal in the first place. And you were asking about, what's your moment for this tournament or what's your takeaway from this tournament. I think everyone has forgotten about Nikhil Pujari. What everyone expects, Thapa to play well or Sandesh to play well, Sunil Chhetri to score the goals. But I've been really surprised by the way he's made that role, right back role for himself in this tournament. Not just defensively, but going forward, he's given us that little bit of creativity, and his work rate has been outstanding every game that he's played. So for me, if you ask that a little bit of takeaway that Steamac would add to his kind of squad going into the SAFF and Asia Cup is Nikhil Pujari.
So that question mark is not there for you, because if you look into the makeup of the squad, and we're still chasing what that 11 is. And today the 11 you say that you saw around about what sort of an 11 it could be, barring one or two changes here and there. Nikhil Pujari question mark gone for you, or is that question mark still there as the right back going forward?
No, he's definitely going to be in Steamac's plan. I don't think there's see, conditions are going to change, form is going to change. God forbid we don't have any injuries till then. So a lot of things are going to change. You take, for example, this camp. There are very, very crucial players missing. Suresh is missing. Roshan's missing. Manveer's missing. Brandon's missing. So you have a lot of players, who are potentially first 11 players before are missing. So whoever have grabbed the opportunity in this camp and have been given a chance to make their mark, have done so. So from now, so SAF's going to be another challenge, and then it's going to be that preparation for the Asia Cup. At that point of time, who's going to be in the right place at the right time, in the right form, in the right physical condition, is going to push for that place. But Nikhil has definitely given Steamac a good problem, at that position, because there are quite a few players who can play in that position. And but he being an ex winger gives you that added advantage, because if you're going to have your wing backs or your right back so high up, it's an added advantage when you have creativity that high up the pitch, which created the first goal. So that's my takeaway, and I think he's going to be in Steamac's plan right through from now on.
What do you think, Ishwak? You're closer to that 11 you're chasing for that January target?
I think it's clearly. I think that this I don't think this will be the first 11, but most of the players will start from this 11. I guess I'm not sure about. I still have, as Floyd said, maybe Nikhil will be in his plans, as he had a good tournament, decent tournament, honestly. But I still believe what his strength is up front. I think that's where he could have done better today. But defensively, yes, he did quite well, because he has the speed to fall back to chase, which is added advantage to him. And like coming from the season, he had a season. I think most of the matches he played for the Hyderabad also right back only, which is good. But as of now, I think he's doing quite well. But there will be a stiff challenge to find a place in first 11. And when it comes to the Suresh and all that, and I think Renedy and me have again a similar opinion on him. I don't think he's a midfielder. I feel he can play better as a right back. I think we have in India, you have a really, really good midfielders right now. I don't see even I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm saying he's a good player, but I think it will be an ideal or a good thing to consider him in as a multiple position player in the backup, not right midfield. Yes, Thapa is there, but so Thapa, Jackson did quite well. Chhangte is doing quite well, as Mangi was saying. Sahal is doing one-on-one, like one of the best players you have seen. He's beating maybe almost easily to any defender which came in his way in this tournament. But yes, final pass in, he has to start, take more responsibility to hit target as well. Because he gets into good places, and I think these. The players, they are sorted, they are grown up with the number of matches. Even still they are less matches, but I think they understand now what is international football. I think Champions League have helped up a lot. like these guys. I think Beke is there also. I still believe he will be an important player.
ऑप्शंस है, मतलब ऑप्शंस मिल रहे हैं आपको काफी.
Puya will be
19-20 का फर्क है, तो हाँ,
yeah,
you
they
can
will
have
be
options.
there is good challenge, but overall, I think it's gonna be a good headache, as Floyd said, for a coach to pick up final 20 or 25. I don't know how many players will be registered for the tournament, but I think it's gonna be really, it's gonna be as Floyd said, it's gonna be that moment. Who is in good form, fitness, who
आप
is
mid season भी
available.
हो गए and all of that thing, yeah.
I think because there is not much difference, you can pick any one of them. Some of them have a really good experience. Some of them are new. It's going to be a tough call for coach also to pick players. It's not going to be because squad is big as some of the players will come from injury, and Brandon is going to come back also, and he's also going to find it difficult because
I think Brandon, हाँ सर, मुश्किल होने वाला है उसके लिए टीम में आने के लिए.
there
After this
are
Thapa
creative
performance.
player. हाँ, तो मतलब वही क्रिएटिव प्लेयर, वो लोग फिट है अभी, ही इज आउट ऑफ द सीन राइट नाउ, उसको भी वो फिटनेस दिखानी पड़ेगी, यू नो, लाइक at the end it's gonna boil down to those things like form, fitness. We might make a coach's job easier to pick player on those things, because I don't think Brendan is equally good as good as Thapa. You know, like Brendan has something like delivery, which I feel today also was little bit disappointed from the set pieces. Even the last time also when Thapa, which he is also like a plus point of Thapa, but I think Brendan is a little bit of one step ahead over there when it comes to this, like set pieces or those kind of situations.
Mangi bhai, so let's start with the biggest positive, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the biggest positive for the Indian team, not just from the final, from this entire tournament, has been that pairing of Sandesh Jhingan and Anwar Ali. And while we might keep on debating ki form this, form that, I think all of us and everyone watching also has a good sense that if these two boys remain fit, there is no doubt that wherever they'll go, they'll be playing, and they continue playing and have the minutes under their belt, that this is your pairing for India, your stopper by pair, which is going to be so crucial when you're playing in Qatar in January. What did you really like about them throughout the tournament, not just today in the 90?
One, I think Sandesh, as we all know, that he's a leader on the pitch, and also his consistency in the last 4 games, I really like it. That's one. I'm talking about the positive, and also knowing Anwar, work with him for this season in Goa, and I have said this also last. Today, I think we have seen twice when those crossfield diagonal balls, at the right time, at the right place. You need to. He picked up that, to do it at the right time, at the right moment. That can be a very, very crucial for India as an asset. Okay, because sometimes when say whoever, it's not going to be always easy to break through the final third and create chances. It's never going to be easy, right, to get into the box. But sometimes those balls I'm talking about, those diagonal balls from nowhere. And he has that ability to do that, which at the moment, even Sandesh can, as much as I love Sandesh, when it comes to defending, he cannot do that. Or even I haven't seen any other Indian defender can do that. So if, the coach, I'm sure that he must have already, we have seen him doing that in the ISL matches. It's just that he has to do it more consistently, carefully, at the right time, at the right place, at the right moment. So that is what I think, that's an asset. So now I keep saying to him, even, during this season, I said, like, as a defender, I mean, I'm just, I think we all will agree, remember, like, after the final Champions League, what Pep said that, okay, what do you think? What was the plus point about, this team? I said, like, we had a good 4 defenders, who wants to defend, went to defending, for example.
For this season, how is it different?
For this season, how is it different? So, I mean, to me, what I understood was, it's important that you need to have players who enjoy defending. So it's important that. So I feel that Sandesh enjoyed defending. I have seen him doing that over the years. He might not be the best player when it comes to distributing or taking, but I have mentioned this in the last first game, second games, where he was, if there's space to drive, he drive, and he tried to do all those, like 20-25. I think those are so important to pass through one line and those are little things. I know these opponents you're going to get bigger, stronger, tougher opponents, but you develop the habits from now on. So I've been talking about from the little attacking point of view, but the defensive wise, like I think Floyd, I completely agree with Floyd. The work rate again, Pujari and also Akash, not today very much. Yes, Pujari quite often this today he managed to get into the final third, and I think over the more matches he get to play, I think he's going to get better with his crossing, about the cutback or the low cross. I think that will work. But the work rate, the daring to go up, there's no apprehension. It's the right time. He always go up. That's the same thing with Akash. Maybe not too much today, but in other previous games. So having those wing half who doesn't think twice. If they feel that there's a space, it's a time to go, then they go for it. They don't ज़्यादा सोचता नहीं है. So I think it's to have that. तो मेरा ख्याल से है कि they have the legs to run up and down, and which is a big asset. भाई football खेलना है तो भागना तो पड़ेगा, दौड़ना पड़ेगा. So you need to have place. You can't be thinking about twice. दिमाग में चलना नहीं चाहिए यार. ये भागा थक जाएगा, ये भागा तो वो हो जाएगा. ये सब सोच नहीं सकता. So having I really like the back four का जो है ना. I mean, but I think Floyd ने जैसे बताया कि 2v2 जो हुआ, or a couple of times when Anwar से miss, I think he just lose the ball and we have to be a 2v2, 3v2 situation जो था. So and again the corner miss, I think 2v2 happened because of the corner. The rest defense, I think whether we call it in the football terms or coaching terms, हम लोग बोलते हैं rest defense का. I mean, we are so to maybe scoring the goals, but at the same time the defensive organizations when we are in attack was that is where I think
सबको रेस्ट डिफेंडिंग समझाना पड़ेगा. ये टर्म तुमने बोल दिया तो अब
सर हम तो समझ गए हैं आपकी. पर आप रेस्ट डिफेंडिंग आप
मेरा प्रो लाइसेंस में प्रैक्टिकल यही था. पहले मुझे आधा घंटा वही समझाना पड़ा. रेस्ट डिफेंडिंग किसको कहते हैं?
अरे मेरे को इसे समझ में.
अगर रेनेडी को पूछना मसला हो गया यार. जब मैंने हेडिंग चढ़ा दी, मसला हो गया. ये रेस्ट डिफेंडिंग समझो ये क्या है. सॉरी यार.
सिंपल बेसिकली जब आपके पास बॉल है, आप अटैक कर रहे हो, तो पीछे आपके बंदे कैसे ऑर्गेनाइज्ड हैं.
The term basically this term
छोटा one word पे बना दिया basically.
They are using, we don't use it. हम लोग इधर बोलते हैं, अरे पीछे से क्या कर रहे हो यार, बॉल मत देखो.
अबे पैरेलल मत होइयो. हम बॉल वॉच सर. मंगी सर, हमारी नजरों में आप AAA कोच हो, not just A license, AAA license coach हो सर. So we've understood rest defending.
Wait, I mean, that's moments where I think I have pointed it out also in the first. For me, I think that's very important as a defender and not as a coach also. As a defender, it's so important. Half the job काम हो जाता है यार, defending half the job are done. Like अगर rest defense right होता है.
Because attack तो होगा ही नहीं ना, so that breaks down.
तो वहाँ से ही खत्म है ना फिर ना. तो first half I think remember against Mongolia हमने 2 बार जो long ball में almost goal खाने वाला था. So ours भी again in a corner 2v2 का सिचुएशन जो बनाया था. So मेरा कहने का है कि I think those areas जल्दी I think we need to realize that those are so important. I think I'm sure that हम कौन है बोलने वाला, but I'm sure the staff they must have doing their
homework. भाई ने लिख दिया है, पढ़ लो आप. रेस्ट डिफेंसिव
बोल रहा
ये आ गया. Defensive organization in relation to how you attack. Thank you sir Richard for this sir. We miss you as always. Floyd, but tell us a bit about Anwar here, Floyd. We're all saying who Anwar Ali and all that. You've known this boy, from a time before. He's now the Anwar Ali, right? The under 17 boy, and then the story that happened with the heart, and then that entire thing of there might be a phase that you might not play football, and then full credit to someone like Ranjit Bajaj for really backing the boy, because that's a time when you can lose a boy, and so glad that we didn't lose a boy. Because you got this boy who's now, he's showing you signs that who after Sandesh, and there he is. You're picking him alongside you after Sandesh. Just tell us a bit about this boy. Apart from that diagonal, which is so obvious, it's pretty clear to the eye that वो एक quality है उसके अंदर. मुझे याद है उसने छेत्री को भी ढूंढने की कोशिश करी. एक flat ball सी मारी थी उसने first half में. What more do you know about this boy that can tell us, क्या है ये, क्या इसकी सोच है?
That's not just a quality. If you ask him, that's his favorite pass. So even if it's not on, he will try. But the beauty of Anwar is that he's 2-footed. So that's why he complements Sandesh really well. Because for a long period of time, I think we've been struggling to find that left-footed centre back or that left centre back. So you play Sandesh there, you play Sana there, you play Mehtab there, it's not the same. Uh, Mehtab has done it much more consistently this season, but it comes really naturally to Anwar. So solving that issue of playing on the left side of the centre back pairing is one advantage that Anwar gives you, and then the ability to play out from the back and pass is just a natural talent that he has had ever since he's been playing. It's something that his vision is something that you can't teach. You know, it comes natural. It has come naturally to him, and he understands exactly what he needs to do with it. At times, you know, he gets the ball on his right foot, and if you look at it, you expect a vertical pass, but he clips it to Akash on the left. He kinds of just whips it. So it's really difficult to predict for a striker. Should I close him down the right, or should I close him down the inside? So he brings in that unpredictability when it comes to uh, you know, how do you stop him from playing out from the back? And playing out from the back is the advantage. There were occasions when we were 2-0 up and they were being pressed 2 versus 2. He received the ball under pressure, dribbled past the striker with the striker at his back, played a good pass with the right weight into the midfield. So he brings that sense of calmness, and looking at him, you'd say that Sandesh is the one who talks, but he's very vocal on the pitch. He organizes things. He makes sure that he tells you exactly what he wants, whether it be on and off the ball. So in that sense, Sandesh at this moment of time will overawe him a little bit when it comes to communication and being aggressive, etc. But Anwar is no less when it comes to being vocal on the pitch as well. So that entire, and he's physical, and more importantly, we've not seen it yet, but he contributes to goals as well. If he gets in the right place at the right time, he can shoot. At set pieces, he's a threat because he's always in the right place at the right time. Again, at this point of time, there are players like Jackson, there are players like Sandesh and Sunil who get ahead of him when it comes to attacking that particular set piece. Or maybe he has to play a secondary role. But if given that role of, a primary role to head the ball and get into the right spaces, he will get you goals for sure. So he brings so much to the team, and more importantly, overall, he's such a humble character. You won't have an ounce of ego in him. He's willing to learn. He's fit now. He's playing at an intensity where I think it comes so naturally to him. He doesn't have to work hard too much on the
Floyd,
field.
why did it take so long for him to break into the setup? Because there were other under 17 boys from that setup who broke in earlier, Suresh being one of them. There were other guys. But why
We
was
know
his
all
trajectory so like this? And now it's
So you are
stabilizing.
talking about Anwar?
Hanji sir, talking about Anwar only.
We know all what happened to him, so that is the reason.
That is the
So,
only reason.
I think that is the only reason. He was a good player when he was in under 17. I remember even I saw him the first time. He looked very strong. Even in those days, I used to like Jim also. I used to think he is a good player. Or Amarjeet. Like they were also good players. But yes, really unfortunate to see those guys haven't progress way others have. But I used to, when I saw the first time under 17 playing the first match in Nehru Stadium, then I was very impressed with Amarjeet also that time. I thought Amarjeet is also like a very, very good who can control the ball and all that. Maybe Floyd will be telling more about him also. But yes, I think when it comes to the Anwar, it was unfortunate issue, and he had some certain issues. I think now he has left them past and passed behind to him, and I think he's playing a like a regular club ball at the highest level, and he's gonna he has joined now like Mohun Bagan Super Giants. That's what they will be called, I guess now. Yeah. So so I think the best thing is he's playing in first 11 wherever he's going. Like being started with Punjab FC, I guess. Punjab FC or Delhi FC, Minerva.
अब Delhi बन गया.
So
पहले हाँ.
He was there. He started like after his that medical situation. He played there also. I met him in Durand Cup also. He was doing good. Like I spoke to Bajaj that time also. A lot of teams wanted immediately him after Durand Cup. And then he picked Goa. I think he had a decent season. There was mistakes also. He had done a lot of mistakes also, given a couple of penalties, which is very normal. Like he's a young boy learning, which with over the years with the experience he will learn when to tackle, when to not. Which I felt was little bit. He was eager in many places during the league. He wanted to win the ball rather than not winning the ball is a art also, but still defending. I think that is very normal. He's a young player. He will learn that playing with the big, nice foreigners, quality foreigners. He will get beaten also. He will learn also. And today we have seen, like as Floyd was also saying, he did quite well. Mangi was also already telling they both of them were complementing each other. And the best thing is, like you could see, he was taking responsibility, staying behind, because it's natural now. He has a more pace, and he can play that last man behind also. When Sandesh was trying to, what earlier he was saying, that trying to break those lines and moving up with the ball, which is good. Whether we can do this with the other teams, that is important thing. We're talking about our fullbacks having a great, uh, engines, going up and down. Whether we can do that with a stronger team, that is what we have seen. And now this headline, best 45 minutes by Indian decade, some may agree, some may not agree. But I
सर मैं
think
हेडलाइन तो ये कोच साहब ने ये इशारा मार दिया हमने जीतने के बाद
that
सीधा
that
5 मिनट
that
पूरा
generally वो पूछ रहा था इसके बारे में. You have to understand, Pandit, that clubs are also paying them. Clubs do want their top players to be with them and perform for the club. You cannot ignore that. Yes, I think all the clubs unanimously will have already decided. They have already been informed. There will be Asia Cup. I think they have agreed. They will let them go. You have to understand. For clubs, preseason is so important, where you plan your strategy, plan one, plan two. And these guys are important for your club also, and they play in first level there also. So I think they have already unanimously agreed that they will give him, I think, a month or so, which is more than enough for any tournament, I guess. I don't think you can't use 6 months to tell them to play. No, I think 1 month is
वो
more than for any
वो मंगी
tournament.
को मिला था
हाँ,
मंगी को मिला था वो वाला
And
6 महीने मिले थे.
यूरो टूर मिला था I remember that. But भाई see we've discussed it so many times.
Yeah.
वो दौर अलग था. उस दौर का कंपटीशन जो आपका NFL या आई लीग था वो अलग था. अब का दौर अलग है. आपके हिसाब से मंगी, बिकॉज सी यू आर प्लेइंग सैफ में आप खेल रहे हो, फिर उसके बाद आप किंग्स कप खेल रहे हो. किंग्स कप के बाद क्या है शेड्यूल हमें पता नहीं है. किंग्स कप में शायद 1 मैच हो या 2 मैच हो मुश्किल से. वेयर डू यू स्टैंड ऑन दिस, बिकॉज यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर द वर्ल्ड कप. ये एशिया कप नाम का है पर हमारे लिए तो वर्ल्ड कप है. हम वर्ल्ड कप खेलने जा रहे हैं जनवरी में, मिड सीजन में वो भी. तो आपके हिसाब से कितना टाइम मिलना चाहिए? Because Floyd said it at the start of the show that when you see these boys and you see that they've been together for 3 weeks or a period of a month, एक अलग cohesion दिखता है, एक अलग flow दिखता है, and you'd have to agree with him. They've started every game where they're on top of the game, and that's a result of that. So where do you stand on this? How much time is enough, having already played the Asian Cup in the past?
I think I don't know. You guys, Floyd, is far by. You guys would agree. We have to be realistic now. As much as we want, I think what happened in 2010 या 11 में हमारे साथ जो हुआ था 7 महीना 8 महीना एक साथ, मेरे को नहीं लगता कि वो दोबारा होगा. Just to have a national team, taking care of finances by the federation, मेरे को नहीं लगता कि नहीं होगा अभी दोबारा. और as much as we need to be realistic. So अभी आप जैसा फ्लोइड बताया कि they are I think I can see that also. I think we could see that they are physically, I think they are good, maybe not 100%, but like 95%. Physically it looks like everyone's in a good rhythm. But 3 हफ्ता से तो मेरे को नहीं लगता कि सब कंडीशन थे 3 हफ्ता में तो नहीं कर सकता. Floyd, I think you will agree with me also. But I think they just came back from the ISL के बाद, Super Cup के बाद. I think सबका, I think they are professionals, and I think they have started. I have seen all of them. They know how to take care of their body as well. So ये नहीं कि 3 हफ्ता 1 महीना देके मान ले आपने अच्छा कंडीशन कराया आपका बॉडी को, और उसके बाद उसको भी मेंटेन भी तो करना है, और क्या खेल के मेंटेन करेगा, फॉर एग्जांपल. सो आई थिंक दे नीड टू प्ले दिस लीग, या दे नीड टू प्ले जो भी हमारा द सिस्टम में तो आना ही पड़ेगा. देन इन बिटवीन इफ वी कैन प्रोवाइड देम एज अ कोच, बिकॉज वी आर प्लेइंग, हमारे लिए वर्ल्ड कप है. सो if you can get little more games, like I have said also, I'm very much जितना हो सकता है, even like I think that's why I think ISL, we're bringing the ISL season थोड़ा आगे, try to give them few more weeks extra, जो भी जितना हो सक रहा है. That is what I think we are trying to do, right? So मेरे ख्याल से I think for realistically possible नहीं है उनको पूरा मतलब 7-8 महीना I think it's why I think Floyd, you guys will agree with me also. So we have to be realistic here. And मेरे लिए तो मान है कि अभी चलो they have to have a break यार. अभी इतना intense 4 हफ्ता हो गया. They need this break now. इसके break के बाद how they gonna condition again?
SAFF के बाद मिलेगा भाई. SAFF के बाद मिलेगा.
SAFF के बाद अभी मिलेगा. Then उसके बाद they need to have some, otherwise they will burn out here. Then you have to come back to the club.
कहाँ मिलेगा भाई उनका club शायद I will start the pre-season also यार.
Yeah, we'll start the preseason. Yeah, we'll start the preseason. So that's why the club has to manage them also properly. So we need to be in a sync between the club and the national team. How do we manage these boys? Otherwise, they will burn out. But at the same time, I would love them to get more playing time together. Because it's important. Like for example, it's just quickly coming back to what Anwar Ali का जो बात कर रहा था. जैसा फ्लोइड ने clearly mentioned जो किया था कि defending, I keep saying that as a defender, your first job is to defend. Primary job is to defend. आप कितना बार crossing किया, कितना बार ball लेके travel किया, nobody's going to ask you if you have conceded 4 goals. आपने कितना लंबा ball मारा, कैसा मारा, कोई पूछेगा नहीं. Last में आप 4 goal खाएगा तो सब भूल जाएगा. So your primary job, you need to know to defend first, right? उसके बाद if you have the quality, some assets, like if you can drive the ball in the space, you can kick the ball, that's an asset. So मेरा कहने का मतलब है then I have just mentioned about the race defense का सब बात करता है. If you ask any defender, then even me, if the coach asks me to say try to drive the ball away from my, जैसा मैं अभी box के सामने खड़ा रहता हूँ, I'm pretty comfortable, I'm pretty aware. Maybe after playing for so many years, then I'm talking about towards end of my career, maybe I'm pretty comfortable, I'm very aware. But then maybe someone like 19-20 years old, probably he's not. वो भी खेलते खेलते आ जाएंगे 25-26 में शायद भी he will be aware. But if you ask that person from the defensive third, तो उसको भी mid third में जाएगा. ऐसा लगता है कि यार मैं भी एक unknown जगह पे आ गया. I'm not comfortable there. अगर मैं so what I'm saying is when I see these boys who are comfortable doing that now, अगर उसको थोड़ा सी तरीके से उसको गाइड करेंगे तो उसका अंदर में है, डेयरिंग है, डर नहीं है, तो डर को थोड़ा
भाई महेश गावली का कितना हाथ है उसमें? You know him very well. महेश गावली का कितना हाथ होगा उसमें?
I was just going to mention about that.
है ना?
Yes.
मैं कितना बड़ा हाथ होगा उनका?
So that's one of the महेश भाई का भी जैसा अभी डिफेंडिंग में भाई ये तो बहुत सारा ये सोचेगा हम लोग. I don't know how to explain it to you, but जैसा महेश भाई का I think that was one of the skill, like we all have seen it. उसको डिफेंडर के स्ट्राइकर के सामने बॉल जाके इंटरसेप्ट करना, right?
Yes.
And that skill,
and without hitting the guy or anything.
He does.
But Mangi, that's a skill also, but that's a problem.
वही मैं बताना चाह रहा हूँ. That's a skill also. तो हमको यही बताया कि हमने 4-5 बार हम आगे जाके बॉल ले लेंगे 4 बार. So एक बार में जब ले नहीं पाएंगे
तो खत्म.
वो सीधा गोल है. So now सवाल आता है कि it's up to the individuals whether you want to do it or not. So that's a game now. It's up to the individual.
But जो आप बात कर रहे हो, मैंने ये नोटिस किया था कि आज के मुकाबले में लगभग 90-95% सक्सेस रेट था दोनों संदेश और अनवर का. जब वो कमिट करने जा रहे थे, कमिट करके बॉल ले रहे थे.
पंडित, when there will be a bigger body player, it's impossible to take, and they want you to do this. The moment you do it, they will turn you. You will be अपना गोल उधर होगा तो इधर से वो लोग आगे चले जाएंगे. Like I give you example of ISL में, the moment you do this to the Bath Ogbeche, you will be on उनके गोल के side, he will be facing your goal आराम से. because the bigger players, the other countries, the players who, like in Asia Cup, there are the teams we might face, their players will be better experience and better quality. The moment you want to intercept that ball, either you have to be, I don't think even sometimes I tell my players, you have to be 100%, not 100%, you have to be 102% sure that you are taking that ball. अगर वो you feel that you are 99%, वो 1% में एक बार भी बॉल चला गया ना, जैसे मंकी बोल रहा था, तो वो गोल है.
पर आज सर, आज वो ओगबेचे, मतलब ओगबेचे का ओ भी नहीं था वो बेचारा स्ट्राइकर. वो तो
So
फिर से टकरा था
the
from the beginning.
one thing where I
Example दे
can
रहा
come
था
in
भाई.
is with Mahesh working with these guys, and when we worked with Arrows also with the likes of Narendra and Anwar, he not just improves their defending, but he also has a big influence on their decision making.
Yes,
So
that's it.
when to do what, and he's very particular with it, and he catches even the finer details in every game, be it at halftime. So at this point of time, say Lebanon wants to receive the ball in front of Sandesh and this Anwar, but Nepal would want to receive the ball behind. They'll run
Absolutely.
behind rather than receiving the ball
Yes.
ahead. So if they are being worked upon by Mahesh, I'm sure they are going to be working upon their decision making, and surely going to know how high the line should be when we need to press. Because I think every time the number 9 got the ball, Sandesh was on his back, because they must have decided, okay, this guy is not going to turn much. But every time the captain got the ball, they weren't touch tight on him from the back. They took a step back and they held their line. So in that sense, I think the decision making process looks a bit more positive, and it keeps improving game by game. And as Ishfaq and Gaurumangi said, that as the competitiveness improves, can we maintain that decision making, and can we make less errors and more successful tackles, or not even just tackles, just successful movements, or just wait for the right time to do the right thing. I think that's going to be important, because I think Kuwait's going to be a step up if where they are right now. If the quality that
True.
they are showing right now in their uh, games that they are playing, they are going to be a step up. So that's going to give you a little bit of hint as to what maybe the Kings Cup also is going to be like, or the Asia Cup. And then you're going to also have teams like Nepal and Bangladesh, who are going to just play the opposite way. So there's going to be a lot of twisting and turning, and you cannot change these things on the flip of a switch. So you have to be working together over a period of time, trying to find out what's the best solution in different games, and then execution is up to the players on the pitch. Yeah.
But having
In
having that quality, I think it's an asset. Let's put it that way, by having that
True.
asset for you to go up, anticipate, and get the ball in the front of the striker. It's a good asset to have, but it comes with the risk. So now the question is, आप जितना invest करेंगे उतना return भी आएंगे, और वो return भी थोड़ा सा कभी भी positively आएंगे, कभी भी. So it's a mutual fund. But it's a putting your money on the market.
आपने फ्लॉयड ने एक बड़ी अच्छी बात बोली थी वहाँ पे, that different opponents will give you different situations, because हमारी टीम अभी उस स्थिति पे है. तो अब आप क्या हर चीज में तीर लगाओगे सिर्फ जनवरी का, और बोलोगे कि वहां पे वो मुझे मोड़ने देगा नहीं, और वो तो चाहेगा कि मैं आगे आऊं, तो मैं ये करूंगा ही नहीं, या आप कहोगे यार इस मुकाबले में वो थोड़ा ठुस लग रहा है बंदा, तो मैं तो उसके आगे आके बॉल ले लूं.
पंडित, वैसे ही तो मैच जीते हैं ना, जब आप कमजोर टीम के साथ खेलते हो तो यू टेक योर चांसेस, सो इट इज क्वाइट नॉर्मल, इट्स अ नेचुरल थिंग इन फुटबॉल. तो आई थिंक मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज as I was saying, that see, traditionally Kuwait is better team than Lebanon. Jordan is better team than Kuwait. So it goes in like that. So now it's a good thing for us, like we're gonna meet Kuwait, and we definitely will meet them. So I think that is gonna be a good challenge, and I think that it's going nicely for India step by step. And trust me, these SAFF teams also give sometimes tough time. They are not like, don't think that we'll be concentrating on Kuwait also. All of a sudden you will see Pakistan also defending 11 players and then playing on counter attack, like how Bangladesh sometimes makes life difficult for us. Sit back, like how many times in this show only we say that Bangladesh gives the most toughest time to India. They sit back and they launch the counter attacks. Like एक chance भी उनमें से एक chance सीधा हो गया, goal हो गया, and then they will be all in front of their box, which where like traditionally from last I think 7-8 years, we as an Indian team, we didn't have a any answer to that when teams are sitting and then launching the core, because our strength is also same thing with the bigger team. We do the very similar thing. So when Bangladesh like team, they sit behind, like it becomes frustrating for like bigger teams. Like I think as I think if we talk about today's match, we had a fantastic match. I was really happy to see. Honestly, I'm telling.
The best Asian team, physical team, आपने उनको दबाया
like
उनको.
Mongolia के साथ वो पहला 15 मिनट उसके बाद I thought like we played really dead game, like. But I think today second half was brilliant today for me. Like there was that pace that, and people were pressing. You have to give. You remember I told you last time, even though if Sahal comes out around 70 minutes, but his numbers are really high always.
Yeah.
Because I have worked with him for 4 years. Because he puts a lot of efforts. It's not that whether he is fit. He is technically fit. He's gonna run more. He would have run more. But I think maybe coach wants to save him also. He had a small niggle also. But I think they made good effort, as Mangi was saying. Chhangte, Sahal, and on the other side was Thapa. I think they pressed really hard, which is a compliment to Sunil also. Like he waits for the right time, right decision, and then you see one simple pass. Not a simple pass. Cook, you have to give credit to Sunil also. Immediately, he didn't just wait for, which is a good example for the younger strikers. He didn't wait for the ball. He just came in front of the defender and left him for the dead. He made it look easier. It was a pass. If you watch that goal, he was behind the defender coming from behind, and he didn't wait. He just continued his run, and so. But the saying all this, I think national team coach got a perfect 11 to start with. I think changes. I thought like changes were little bit.
ये बहुत बड़ी बात है sir in the history of the show.
Good.
ये 11 को praise किया जा रहा है.
Good.
There was a comment. There was a comment in which Yasir was mentioned. I think we forgotten about him as well.
I know.
The influence
sir,
that,
मेरी भी आँख वहीं गई थी. यासिर को ही देखा था मैंने.
So there are so many players who have carried the team prior to this tournament who are missing due to injury and personal reasons. I think
so even good now. Like these guys, they did it, and now the other guys took it from there. So it's a really good thing. By the way,
And
Mahesh
fact,
also doing good.
Mahesh, yeah.
And we at least Mongolia and Vanuatu showed some intent to attack and play football. I don't think the likes of Nepal and Bangladesh will even show that intent. They will be parked on top. That's a completely different game to play altogether. So, but the way we are playing, the rotations that we are doing right now, the freedom that we have when our wing backs are high with the two midfielders parked there, it gives us the options to break down those kind of situations. Hopefully, so we couldn't have gone into the SAFF. We couldn't have gone into a SAFF.
Because you're mentioning this, भाई. Sorry, I'm just come because हम ना बहुत time से चाहे इशवाक हो, रेनेडी हो, एनी भाई जो मणिपुर में so he can't join us right now. हम बहुत टाइम से एक ढिंढोरा पीट रहे हैं. I'm not saying it's the right thing, but majority of us have been ढिंढोरा ये पीट रहे हैं कि अगर आप जनवरी के लिए तैयारी कर रहे हो, जहाँ पे where you're playing in Australia, you're playing in Uzbekistan, much higher ranked opponent, much technically superior opponent than you, then you must prepare to play on the counter. कि ये आपका एक स्टाइल है. So practice makes perfect. Put every game put you play that one formation, you try playing on the counter so that it becomes second nature to you. Where do you stand on this? Where do you stand on this constant rotation? Because if you look at the coach before him, Constantine, he had his 15, 16, 17 and bus. He would not go beyond that, irrespective of who's doing what in the league. And but he had that one way of playing.
Bob had the same thing, bhai.
Exactly, the same thing.
Bob had the same thing. There was fixed players.
Has the zamana changed then, Floyd? That you can
I think it has
look
changed.
At experimenting, look at rewarding boys who are doing well in the league.
No, I think it has changed because I don't think we'll go into defending deep, say, for example, the Qatar game, unless and until the opposition overawers really really, highly. What I believe is that we're going to try to play the way like we played against Lebanon today, and
Okay.
it is now we'll get an idea, and I think even Igor will get an idea of how much can we push the capabilities of these guys. So one would be Kuwait. I'm looking forward to that game. Second would be Iraq. I'm looking forward to that game. And then would be any potential Asia Cup type opponent in between the Kings Cup, and so these games will give us the best idea as to what will be our approach in the Asia Cup. Because I don't think so that we are going to just start the game by passing the ball to the opposition and just sitting in our half, irrespective of any opposition that comes up against us. We are going to have those moments where we are going to say, okay, maybe the first 15 minutes or the first 10 minutes, let's press. I think that's decided. I think we are now have confidence in our fitness levels to say that, okay, an organization that we can, if we get it right, we may create those 2-3 chances and stir the opposition a little bit. Because I think Lebanon didn't have any answer in the first 20 minutes, and that changed the entire shape of the game. Although they came back a little bit, but then second half we picked up the intensity again. So moments can change in the game based on how you play. So Kuwait would be a big test. If we can play the way we played against Lebanon against Kuwait, which I think we will do on home soil, then it comes down to, okay, what is the result of that game? Did Kuwait just breeze past our press, create chances? Sandesh, Anwar were left for dead. So that's going to be the challenge. But I don't see us sitting and parking the bus unless and until it's maybe the opposition is really
Like
on
in
top of
Australia
us.
or someone.
Maybe.
Is
Yeah.
SAFF also in same place, same venue?
Bengaluru.
Bengaluru.
And there Kuwait is in our group, so you have the opportunity of playing Kuwait twice, I'm guessing, because two teams get out of the group. So you play them in the group, and then you could have an opportunity of playing them in the final, because you're assuming that at least India should make it to the final. Mangi, Chhangte पे कुछ बात कर सकते हैं. You can see in front of your eyes that this boy is growing. Like I'll give you a perfect example of the Chhangte of the past. The Chhangte of the past, if you had such a dead 45 minutes that he had in the first half, that's it. You would not have seen him in the game. Whether he played 90, whether he played 45, you wouldn't have seen a comeback from that boy. He wouldn't have been able to do it. तो ऐसे देखा ही नहीं हमने. बट आज एक अलग दिखा कि वो कोच साहब गए, कोच साहब ने ये उनने पोस्ट मैच शो में भी बोला है कि I was pissed off at half time. You don't want to know the words that I was telling them. And then you saw a different Chhangte. Not only did he play his two parts in the goal, but then he was a constant threat, constantly threatening down that right wing side.
I think I'll just recall what we had spoken on the first, I think against Mongolia, where I have mentioned also about Chhangte. He had come to this tournament after a strong season, with Mumbai. And the question is like, can this boy produce a similar performance again in the coming of ISL or even for the Indian team? That is when if I can see that in the coming weeks or months, that's when we can see that, okay, this boy is on the track to become a bigger player. Okay, that is how I see it, and that's how I do my whatever little calculation about players. So I think my last I-League team was with, I think, DSK. Second I-League team with DSK ke saath. I think Chhangte and they were just coming up, with all those noise about
Him
so
and Jerry.
yeah. So
Chhangte.
I used to Chhangte and Jerry. We used to say a long time. They used to be like, "Bhai, beta, ye wo na kahani hota tha apna." So kahani tha. Mera bas ye both. I saw the talent. I saw the skill. When we were like, chalo training साथ तो कर रहा था कुछ महीनों, and मैंने बस बताया. I remember talking कि भाई, sometimes they say that you try really hard. We try, we keep trying because we don't know what to do. Sometimes we try because you are not sure about what you want to do. That's why we try. And I think that's what exactly happened with him as well in the in his senior team dressing room, whatever the season that he had. I have seen him. He tried, but he was trying to find his fit. Actually, कौन सा रास्ता, कौन सा direction जाना है. I think he was trying to figure out. But right now, in the last season, I think that he is getting there. But I think he can grow. He can get better. I don't say that he's ready for everything. No. But the thing is, like, he has a strong season. अभी मेरा कहने का मतलब है कि I see that he's trying for the right things now. I think he's थोड़ा उसको समझ में आया कि मेरा strength and weaknesses क्या है. So he's trying the right things, he's trying to go to the right direction. So only things अगर वो चीज को अगर पकड़ पाएगा आने वाला सीजन में, then another season, 2 season, 3 season, that's when you become like, कि हाँ यार ये बंदा right track में. So when I see this, like मैं इसलिए कह रहा था कि थापा, I don't see he has a great season, a very very strong season against for Chennai, but अभी he's a different player for, I think, for Chennai, and he's different player for Indian team. The last 3 games Thapa had. So all I'm saying is, question is, can you do that? Question is, can you do that in the coming games? Can you do that? Sawal wahi hai. So मेरा ख्याल है अभी, I think in terms of the rhythm, in terms of the way of approach when it comes to the games, I think Chhangte is maybe still one step ahead of some of the boys in the starting lineup today. So he's just much calmer. So all I'm saying is, इसको consistently we need to do that. That's why I say, like, we don't see him, like, I can see that Asik is trying, I can see Sahal is trying. Potential, maybe I don't say that who is better than whom. Physically, I think they are good players. They are strong. सब कुछ है भाई उनके साथ. I can see that. My positive feeling is that coming back to again when you're gonna face Australia or Uzbekistan, अभी Kuwait के साथ मेरा, I think my memory with Kuwait wasn't good. I think काफी गोल के साथ हारा था हमने, पता नहीं कितना गोल था. There was a काफी
उनको याद है.
there was a long time back. So no, all I'm saying is, when I see this boy, they're physically strong, they're fast, they're quick, and they are technically decent. They can play good football. So all I'm saying is, like Floyd said, that if I want to see the team how they perform against Kuwait, I want to see how they perform against Uzbek, or I want to see how they perform against Iraq. So there will be fit. जैसा मान ले कि हम कोरिया के साथ 10 साल पहले का बात कर रहा हूँ, सामने अगर सोन खड़ा है या पाक शिजू खड़ा है, their movements are little, जैसा अभी आज we could see that Sandesh was ready to go close down, fall नहीं कर रहा है, पीछे में turn करने नहीं दे रहा है, but मान ले सामने वाला striker quick है, agile है, then उसमें confidence को that's when it comes to mentally, अभी अरे ये तो घूमने almost turn, then अभी मैं second बार जाऊँ कि न जाऊँ, though then the doubt is started creating during the game itself. समझ रहे हैं ना भाई ना? So all I'm saying is, बात तो शुरू किया था चांते से. So चांते, my conclusion about him is that he has a long way to go, but I think he's on the right track. I think he can get better. We see him much calm, and he need to be humble. He need to stay grounded, and I think he's on the right direction. बस इसको रास्ता घूमना नहीं चाहिए इधर उधर. अभी जो जा रहा है, I think he's on the right direction.
Floyd, are you a little surprised? Hanji, sorry, आप बोल.
No, with Chhangte, I would just like to add, I was watching the game specifically with him. There were 3 moments for him in the game. In the first 5 to 10 minutes, he tried to come short for the ball. Every time he did that or received the ball with his back to goal, the left back was all over him. He didn't give him an opportunity to even touch the ball. He lost the ball every time he did that. Then he started to spin behind. And he got success spinning behind, but whenever he spun behind, the centre back came and closed him down, but he didn't have a beating of a 1v1. I expected him to at least maybe wiggle his way past or cross the ball. So he didn't succeed in that. What's changed in the second half was definitely the team has worked on it. Nikhil was higher, and then Chhangte was just let loose. You can go down, you can run behind. So he enjoyed that type of freedom, and it's difficult to catch a person like Chhangte who's so quick. And if you see the first goal, he checked away from goal. Nikhil received the ball. He dragged the defender. Then he spun behind again, which he was doing quite a lot in the end of the first half. That's what created the space. After that, the centre back came in to close down. He beat him 1v1, went on his right side, which he would never usually do before. He was always so predominantly left-footed. And then the pace of the ball, which was accurate on the floor at the right pace for Sunil to tap in. So, one thing that has changed, I think a lot of credit has to be given to Des with how he's worked with these players at Mumbai City and has improved their decision making, has improved their end product so much. And, the one thing that sets apart Chhangte from the other wingers that we compare him now with in the national team, he's relentless. He never gives up. Even if he makes a mistake, he's there again and again and again. But he gives you twice as much when we lose the ball, which maybe other wingers don't give you at this point of time, who may be much more talented than him. Or maybe so he's slowly but surely kind of becoming that complete all-round player that, and he's scoring goals. What else do you need? He's
No,
creating
but Floyd,
chances.
since you keenly follow young players and their trajectory, and Ashok mentioned it rightly there, as Mangi also mentioned, DSK, that whole hawa was there. ये तो बच्चे गए हैं, Liverpool and all of that, and they've been selected. And are you surprised in his timeline? Everyone has their own trajectory, everyone has their own timeline. Are you surprised that this boy hasn't broken in? The Chhangte we're talking about now is that last season at Chennai, then Mumbai, and then now the Indian team. Are you surprised that it's a little slow as opposed to what
No,
you would
I'm
have
not.
expected from this boy?
No, I'm not. I'm not. Because he wasn't this player at DSK. He wasn't this player even with the Indian national team. Even with when he played for the
Even for
under,
Chennai, even for the
yeah,
Chennai. Sorry to interrupt,
he
Floyd.
Last
yeah.
season, थोड़ा बहुत responsibility दिखा था थोड़ा.
No, he was at that point. I'll just add this because I've seen that with the AIFF, and I've seen him when he was at DSK as well. There was a young player, yes, but there was a lot of arrogance when he did things. Yeah, there was a point. I still remember a game at I think it was which is Churchill Brothers' home ground, Vasco, Tilak
Hmm.
Maidan. So the India under-19s were playing against I think Malaysia under-19 at that point of time. He was through on goal. All he had to do was just square the ball off across the 6-yard box for a finish. He goes for a Rabona. He goes for a Rabona and terribly screws it up, and
Sir,
the ball goes
Rabona
out
is
of
what?
play.
This is that
Uh,
एक पैर फिर पीछे और ऐसे कैसे?
yeah, that flick. Yeah. So he
हाँ.
was that kind of a character. He wanted to kind of show off a lot, and and uh, and used to get away with it. So I think he took that along with him into his club career. But at a certain point of time, like you said, he's found the right coaches to kind of ground him a little bit and make sure that he does the right things at the right time. That's more effective rather than more flashy,
Mhm.
and that's what has got him into where he is right now. I think that's my take on it. Seeing his, so I'm not surprised that he's taken this much of this time, this long, but I'm happy that he's finally made it, and now he has to be more consistent.
मंगी चेन्नई में आपने भी देखा है बड़ी closely. What was the player you were seeing in Chennai?
No, Chennai, like I think I totally agree with Floyd because that year was there, all those little bit of, I think maybe the ego thing, लोग इतना तारीफ किया आपके बारे में कि यार, that you're the next big thing and you have all the potentials, but but they need to realize, but at that age, someone needs to guide them. The thing is, people around him or the coaches or the even nowadays even the football agents or even their parents and the elders. So it's so important because who they talk to regularly, who they believe or look up to. So those are very important. I think Flo, you will you'll tell in this part better about these boys. So I remember clearly when I saw them, like वो थोड़ा एयर के साथ घूमता था, but I say like आता तो बैठता था, वे खाना खा के बैठता. मैंने बोला भाई मेरा ख्याल से I don't understand too much of football. All I know is that consistency is something key in life, not just about football. So you need to that's the only thing. I don't know too many things, but few things is you need to deliver that. You need to deliver. जैसे मैं आप बताया कि last season was a strong season he had. I completely agree with it, but maybe a lot to do not because of only by himself. It was like the team, the coaches, the staff, everyone helped him to be who the season that he had. So now question is, let's see. I mean, Anwar, in a few months we'll get to know that whether he can still produce that. I'm very very upfront and honest. So if he can produce that with the same intensity, with the same with the intent, then I think then we can say that he's on the track. But we all agree that he has a potential. Similarly, like I want to see someone like Sahal or even Asik or even Manbir. I like they're strong, they're fast. I have seen them closely. They're strong, they're fast. They can play inside, they can play outside, and just imagine. And they are different players. They are not Chhangte. They are one is Manbi, one is Chhangte. They are different individuals. But the thing is, just imagine with that height, with that. Why I'm saying this in the January, you're gonna face that physicality चाहिए भाई थोड़ा सा ना. So Chhangte is strong even with the height or with the size. But मान ले Manbir or even Sahal, the Asik, थोड़ा सा ball के साथ थोड़ा सा little calm, like with the like Floyd said, the decision making. Just imagine give too much of headache to Igor. Yeah, काफी headache देगा यार. Whoever I'm talking about inside outside, I can see some potential. Yeah. I don't know for you guys, but I think I see some talent there. The only thing is ये सबको थोड़ा सा I don't know maybe in 5-6 months में वहाँ तक आ पाएगा नहीं but Igor can
देखना
have
होगा.
देखना होगा. You can give some.
Ishwak, what's the trick then, Ishwak? कि झांगटे को आपने अब खिलाना ही है, रेगुलरली खिलाते जाओ, तो उस लड़के को खिलाते जाओ, और कोई तरीका नहीं है टू गेट द बेस्ट आउट ऑफ हिम. क्योंकि अगर आपने इसको बेंच किया, अगर आपने इसको कॉन्फिडेंस के थोड़ा धक्का दिया ठड़ुक, then you might not see him again, at least at the level where he's playing right now.
Then that's a player's mistake, like if he's not mentally strong to come back. It's not coach's. Coach may sometime decide something different, where his plans are different. He may have to sit on bench. If your mentality is not like that, ready to sit on the bench, you will never survive in football. It can happen anywhere. I think all of us have been benched and substituted everything. Like you have to accept that's the part and parcel. There are some good players also on the bench, like you see today also, or you will see in future some more good players coming, and you have to accept that every time. Just to be humble, as everyone was talking about. You can't be always, the best. When you will have bad days. Coach may make you sit. Sometimes form is temporary. Like sometimes we will have it, you won't have it. But the key is consistency. If you have set a bar somewhere, you have to match that all the time, which is a very, very simple formula in football. You scored 4 goals or 5 goals or 8 goals in your club, you at least have to be somewhere close, if not more. So because that is how you're gonna challenge yourself to become better. It's easy to reach to the top, but it's difficult to stay there. And if you want to prove everybody wrong, if you want to count in great players rather than to be called a good player, you have to stay on the top by working hard, by having that concentration levels all the time, right mentality. You
He
can't
has it.
just.
He has it in him to be great. आपके हिसाब से?
But as of now, I think with this season, I have seen season is big always. I think he was quite consistent. He did quite well in this season. There were like some games where he was not up to the mark. But what happens in the club, the other players also do perform. So sometimes you get like away from inconsistency, because your team is still winning. If you are not contributing same as you were. So I think, but maybe in national team there are other players also. So you have to, if you can't perform, you have to be ready to sit on bench also. And it's a harsh reality of football. Like you have to accept it.
Sorry, Ishfaq, he had to work really hard to get in Max final squad. He wasn't included for quite a few camps.
So that indicates he has to can't keep that work rate same, as you rightly said. Yeah. So as I feel like all these guys have a talent to reach on top, but the best player is one who stays there.
Fair point. And this comment will tell you everything. How Sunil is still so good for national team, 18 years and counting, longevity. भाई हमारे बाल चले जाएंगे तब भी खेल रहे होंगे भाई साहब.
You see today, I like Sunil also. Now you see.
Yeah. एक zippy था. There's zippy.
Very smart. He's playing very smartly. First, like after long, I have seen from the club. Even club, he's more vocal, going there, playing from the left side, because club football is different. But today, you see, he was always in there, that focal point. Whenever they try to cross, he will make that run, and after that, he will try to reserve himself, which is a very good thing to do. I think. It's a very smart football he is playing right now, and that is why he is Sunil. He is smart.
I think it's about taking care of yourself, bhai. I mean, taking care of. There's a many. I think I have said in this show also last
मंगी यही
Last,
बोला
I
था
don't.
मैंने तेरे को, तू बीच पे खेलने जाता था मैच खेल के, फिर बाद में बीच पे खेलता, अगर तू बीच पे नहीं खेलता ज्यादातर अपने आप को ध्यान रखता, अभी भी खेलता रहता था।
No,
Tempo
no, bhai.
conversations.
But yeah, he's I think he's a great example. Bhai,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
he's doing is like honestly, भाई सिंपल चीज है. मैंने बताया था ना भाई, आई थिंक आप लोग को भी बताया था. मालेशिया में आई थिंक दिस वाज आई थिंक AFC का क्वालिफाइंग समथिंग चीज था. तो मैंने बोला सुबह रात को तो मैच खत्म हो गया, अगले दिन 11 बजे समथिंग इंडिया वापस आना था. हम लोग
हाँ.
डिनर विनर करके रात को 1-2 बजे आया होगा. सुबह का पता नहीं 7:30 बड़े होटल में ब्रेकफास्ट टाइम में सब तो सो रहा है. मैंने बोला
हाँ.
मैं तो जहाँ नींद नहीं आ रहा, चलो यार मैं जाके थोड़ा स्विमिंग पूल में बैठता हूँ. मैं भी सुबह 6 बजे नीचे आया. कोई
हाँ.
किचन वरेवर कुछ खुला नहीं था. सोचा कोई तो नहीं होगा आया. मेरा भाई ने तो वहाँ पे साढ़े पता नहीं 5 बजे सोया नहीं सोया 5 बजे वो तो पसीना वसीना वहाँ पे रिकवरी खत्म होके बोला मेरा साथ पुल में आधा घंटा बैठा. तो मैं बोला सच मैं सोचा मैं इतनी जल्दी आके मैं बोला मैं पुल में थोड़ा बाद में दोनों ऐसे मैं बोला नो आई एम सेइंग द डेडिकेशन का बात कर रहा हूँ. जितना हम लोग 5 साल लोग बाहर गया होगा सब तो सो रहा था भाई लोग. तो भाई ने तो आराम से 2 घंटा
रिकवरी चल रही थी सुबह सुबह.
हाँ सुबह 5:30 बजे उन्होंने थोड़ा कुछ तो मतलब जस्ट पसीना तो निकाल दिया उन्होंने. मतलब थोड़ा सा स्वेट आउट कर लिया. बाद में पुल में बैठा, बाद में ब्रेकफास्ट करके ऊपर आके हम लोग भी फिर चेकआउट किया. आई एम सेइंग दैट कि दैट्स अ डेडिकेशन. मैं उसको पकड़ा, मैं बोला भाई क्या कर रहे तुम, बताता नहीं ये सब, तुम चुप सोच ये सब तुम कर रहे, तुम सब किसी को तो बताता नहीं. So like, I'm just saying this is one example, but what he's doing is maybe the world doesn't know. I mean,
मंगी और मैं तो हम लोग मैच खेल के शाम को बीच पे फुटबॉल खेलने जाते थे. चेन्नई वाले गोलकीपर सतीश को पकड़ते थे, उसके साथ उधर बीच पे मिरामार पे फुटबॉल खेलते थे.
अरे भाई एक चीज और याद आ गया. that one of the coach in Goa this time, no, उन्होंने we are talking about how do you define a good player. I mean good player, how do you define a good player? मतलब ये तो मतलब सवाल इतना बड़ा सवाल है. How will I answer in a one line or two line? How will you decide? How will
so
I
subjective also.
ये गाली फ्लोइड ही बोल सकते, मैं नहीं बोल पाएगा ये. How will you define a good player? ये बोला अरे तो ये बोल रहा था कि he said like one of the coach, he said like one of the coaches that I work under, उन्होंने बोला कि if you want to see the player really has a intelligent, इतना इंटेलिजेंट है कि नहीं, उसमें है कि नहीं दिमाग की फुटबॉल खेल सकेगा नहीं सकेगा. तो मतलब कैसे बोला जब फुटबॉल खेलता है ना उसको बॉल के साथ छोड़ दो, उसको just let him do with the see that वो बॉल के साथ क्या करता है. And just see his decision making. तो बोलता है just leave him, उसको प्रेशर मत डाल, ऐसे छोड़ दे बॉल के साथ. let him just travel with the ball or just carry the ball. उसके बाद देखना वो बॉल किसको देता है कैसे देता है. then you but it makes difference. I have seen it.
It's true.
But yeah, then
it's true. It's a good point actually.
Yeah, तो it makes some point. मैंने ट्राई किया भाई, काम देखा, मैं थोड़ा देखा.
I think he makes a very good point because some things are so simple. Floyd will agree with this as well. Yeah. Floyd, maybe I am reading too much into it, but because Mangi spoke about that Sunil story in Malaysia, जहाँ पवन पुत्र हनुमान साहब लगे हुए थे अपनी रिकवरी पे. आपने, I don't know if you saw post-match footage. I was seeing it, waiting for everyone to come. This was in between the trophy being given out, and the entire team were doing their cool-down drills after winning a tournament, after winning a trophy, after beating Lebanon. What does that tell you? Or does one read too much into it? कि यार ये देखो क्या हो रहा है.
Next match ready.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that is one thing. That is one thing that has got into the camp. I think these guys have bought a real professionalism in the camp as well. And considering that now they have to go and play a SAFF game in 3 days' time, it's paramount that the recovery is needs to happen as soon as possible. And I think they're in one of the facilities that has the best possible recovery equipment as well in Odisha. They have the Padukone Center there. Sorry, the recovery. What do you say? The chambers out there. They can use that as well. The pool, etc. So I think that has crept in a lot. And not just recovery. I was speaking to Akash. You speak to even Ashish Rai, who was in the camp earlier. And so it was good to get a feedback from someone who's been in the camp for the first time, say Ashish. He was so taken aback by the influence that Sunil has uh, in their meals, the time that they spend sleeping, the time that they spend on their phone, the time that they spend in the treatment room, as to what you're eating. भाई तू cereal खा रहा है, क्यों खा रहा है? Cereal अच्छा नहीं है तेरे लिए, ये खाओ. So he was like everything. At first it was so, and if you're not used to that, if you're not used to someone coming and telling you what to do, when to do it, it's going to be a brainstorm for you. I still remember Apuya. I think Apuya in one of the interviews, someone asked him. I think it was uh, uh, in the ISL, that if Sunil Chhetri asked you to give up YY noodles, would you give it up? He said even if Sunil Chhetri said I wouldn't give it up. So that's Apuya, and he plays the way he talks, with that air, with that confidence.
But he is that kind of character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it depends upon how much you want to take in. The good thing is that that professionalism has set in. Now you need the players to have that mentality and develop a model that works for themselves. Everybody can't do what Sunil Chhetri does, but you need to know exactly what you need to do for your body in order to maintain yourself at the highest level. So I think that has set in. And we talk about Chhangte, he's super professional off the pitch. I think he's one of the most, in that sense, I have not seen someone who's much more professional than him when it comes to his recovery, his gym work, his nutrition, etc. So
But
all these guys, yeah.
हमारे लिए हमारे टाइम पे तो बिरयानी काम करती थी.
No, bhai, I think that is
Carbs.
what
Sir, carbs
when
tha
I
usme.
see, but I think that's what I see these boys. Abhi closely, thoda, seeing them, they know how to take care of their body, bhai. Which was not. I think this information was just getting into in our time, and we tab tak time nikal gaya.
But
So
Mangi, it helps also, na, that you
अरे
have the
नहीं
phone in
भाई,
your
हम लोग
hand
अरे
and so much
जाते
information is
जाते
accessible straight away on the
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
पंडित जाते जाते एक बात बोलता हूँ. जो
हाँ जी, हाँ
सुपर कप रमजान चल रहा था तो हम लोग रोजे वोजे रख रहे थे तो साहल भी था उधर. तो साहल हम लोग मतलब खाने टाइम पे मिलते थे, 4-5 लड़के हम लोग खाते थे. मैं कोच में साथ था, होता था. तो वो मतलब शेफ को बोलता था, मैं खाना मंगाता था तो वो शेफ को बोलता था भैया मतलब 35 ग्राम या 50 ग्राम ग्रिल्ड चिकन देना है. मैं उसको बोल रहा था ये क्या बोल रहा है, कौन सी भाषा बोल रहा है. बोलता सर आज आज यही खाना है, इतना डाइट में लिखा है, इतना ही खाना है. और what he will eat grilled chicken, he will order quinoa and that's it. तो ये आजकल की प्लेयर की लाइफ है, which is
During
good.
Ramzan, you're saying that one meal जहाँ आपको
Yes.
तोड़ना होता है खाने को.
So even during Ramzan, he knows what he wants to eat and all that. So they will have their shakers nowadays, everything with them, which is good. Like they have to
Brilliant.
take care of their body, and I think him, Jixon, you will see they will have their own food. Even staying in a 5-star hotel, they will have their separate food, bringing them with themselves and then eating. I'm really happy to see this kind of change. It was, as Mangi said, हमारे टाइम पे तो नहीं था. हमारे टाइम पे हम लोग जब छोड़ने वाले थे उसके बाद ही चला. हमें तो जब लास्ट 2-3 साल खेल रहे थे, वो जो 3 साल 4 साल खेला ISL, उस टाइम पे पता चला कि प्री मैच मील भी होता है भाई. पहले
Sir,
Some have their own chefs also.
exactly.
Oh, really? Sir, we've gone to that level, Floyd?
Yes.
नहीं, bhai. Seriously?
Yes. Yeah.
I didn't know this. I mean, I knew all the things you guys are talking
Players who
about.
have their
This I
own
had no
chefs,
idea about.
they travel with them wherever they go. So wherever they are, if they are in their ISL base city or if they are with the national team, they are there with them all.
But honestly, Floyd, I will tell you something. During my Calcutta days, East Bengal or Mohun Bagan, lot of people used to have their own. Their own chef. They only hire them to cook food and all that. I remember I used to have one. Uske bagair khana nahi. It's a great. I don't know whether Mangi remembers him. Mangi have stayed in mess. I think Sapanda is the. Everybody's. I think Grenady Bhai will be knowing. Maharaj Bhai will be knowing all of him. And when I changed my clubs, I took him with me. I told him, "You buy up extra," because one of the reason is that time he knew that by मैच के दिन क्या खाना है, because he was working with the club and all that. उस टाइम पे वो स्टू मिलता था,
भाई
वही होता था मैच
मेरा साथ जब पहले बहुत टाइम का बात कर रहा हूँ, बट मेरा साथ भी 10 साल मेरा साथ भी शेफ था, मेरा भाई अपना था एक कोलकाता से भाई, मगर वो खाली मणिपुरी खाना और बंगाली खाना बनाता था, बस डिफरेंस वही था वो।
देखो मणिपुरी खाना इज परफेक्ट फॉर फुटबॉल। वेल कम
कौन
भाई कमाल है, भाई कमाल है। हमने ऐसा ये न्यूट्रिशन के बारे में ज्यादा पता नहीं था, फिर भी हमने कमाल है, इतने 15-16 साल खेला तो इतना कमाल ही है भाई।
No,
So,
but
yeah.
no, I mean, I will just जाते anyway, थोड़ा बहुत टाइम भी हो गया।
हाँ सर,
like
टेस्ट
you
मैच
guys
चल गया हमारा यहाँ पे।
हाँ, टेस्ट मैच हो गया, तो ये बोल के ना 1 मिनट का when I told you that I was just happy, you know, today I don't know, I'm not talking about technical समझ में वो ज़्यादा नहीं जा रहा हूँ, but I'm just saying that when I see the physicality, you know, by Floyd, I'm just maybe I'm talking purely from a player standpoint, okay? So I know they look after their body well. अभी के लड़का लोग में ना, you can see that, you know, है वो लोग में. So this was, I think, इतना लेवल का फिटनेस नहीं था, ये जो है ना, हम 2011 का जब बात करते हैं. This is my feeling. I'm you know, अभी ये लोग को देख के ना. So I have said this also. I want to see how far they have come now. मेरा बस ये था कि I want to see how starting with Kuwait, उसके बाद I want to see how Iraq के साथ, I want to see them. I want to see that because I think maybe Bob realized that 2011 में Bob realized that we have not had the culture of this taking care of our body well and क्या खाना नहीं खाना, recovery, ये सब हमको. I was just getting into it and we are not our body are not adapted to it. I think so. वो generation का लड़का हम लोग में नहीं था. तो I think we have spent so much of time just working on the technical part. तो technical part में हमको ज़्यादा कुछ बताया नहीं. 2 या 4 चीज़ कोई उसके ऊपर पूरा 7 महीना कितना साल था वो लगा दिया. But physically, sometimes what happens if the opponent is really so strong, यार होता नहीं यार. If you have to even have a low block, कितना 90 मिनट तो low block नहीं कर सकता. उसके लिए
लेकिन ये सच है जो इधर कहा, ये हेडलाइन सच है क्या? उसने कहा है
सर, ये नहीं, ये हमारा पंजाबी भाई बोल रहा है।
अच्छा
कोच साहब भी कह रहे हैं, मैं थोड़ा तड़का लेके मैं लेता हूँ जो भी कोच साहब कहते हैं।
लेकिन बट लिखा है तो मतलब बोला है ना,
बोला तो होगा, पर मैं तड़का लगा के लेता हूँ दिमाग में।
This is what Luka has been after a lot with the players.
Really?
Luka is quite a
talking
character.
about it in commentary as well.
But which is good, no? At least, but if you can blend this, no, by now you gonna, because I remember exactly against South Korea, I told you that I think one of my opponents is South Korea के साथ ऐसा लगता है कि यार ये मैच कब खत्म होगा? You know, you enjoying, अब मजा तो रहा खेलने में, ये खत्म कब होगा यार? मतलब मुश्किल था यार, और अभी I'll confess यार मुश्किल था, क्योंकि यार था यार मैच मुश्किल था. So I feel these boys, maybe if they, like how in the first 10-15 minutes we try so hard and in the ball, you know, we started giving away so many balls ना, ऐसा करके ना, वो if we continue that, body इतना भी fit होने से भी काम नहीं आएगा. तो कहने का मतलब है कि I think we have physically, I think we are on the right direction. थोड़ा सा फुटबॉल को भी थोड़ा blend करके ना, then I see that I think we will have a positive आने वाला in a few months.
No matter what happens with nutrition, etc., but they will never be able to replicate the aura of the players of your generation. That is.
अरे सर, ये मैं आपके साथ डबल लाइक 100%. अरे सर, अरे क्या टीम.
वो हमारा पार्टनर
वाना जो भी है, बात हो गया, मैच जीता, फाइनल जीता, 1 करोड़
फाइनल जीता यार, वो लोग बहुत भागा.
1 करोड़ भी आया, 1 करोड़ भी आया.
चलो भाई, आज के लिए
सर, पर आज के जमाने में 1 करोड़ की कोई कीमत रही नहीं. आपको ये बताऊं, जिसके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिए जा रहे हैं, बट वो अलग कॉन्वर्सेशन है. हमने टेस्ट मैच खेल लिया यहाँ पे, 5 दिन का मुकाबला हुआ खत्म. But can I just genuinely say, because you know, we have the 3 professionals with us, and I'm so glad all 3 of you came on the panel after so long. This has been such a lovely conversation to hear. I'm telling you, you might not understand what I'm saying right now because you were so in it, but the people watching, they've been writing non-stop. There's such a lovely, organic, beautiful conversation going on, and it's just so lovely to have all of you. 1.5 घंटे भी फ्लॉयड, ये हमारा रेगुलर मामला नहीं है. हमारा तो होता है 45 मिनट, उसके बाद से गाड़ी चल रही है नहीं चल रही है, माइलेज मिल रही है नहीं मिल रही है उसके हिसाब से चलते हैं हम फिर।
भाई किसी ने लिखा था कि मतलब शो इज लवली बट यू गाइज आप लोग का पता नहीं कब आते हो। मैंने बोला भाई इंडिया का भी फॉर्म पता नहीं कब आती है, जब आएगी तो हम लोग को भी
ये बात
देखोगे।
सही है, ये बात भी सही है,
हम
सही
लोग को
बात
भी
है,
देखोगे।
सही बात है,
ऐसे
ये
मैच
बात
होंगे
सही है।
तो हम लोग को डेली डेली होंगे।
नहीं तो हमने वही कर देना है, वो रोटेशन और प्लेइंग 11 और वही बूंदाबांदी शुरू कर देंगे हम यहाँ पे। But you know, on all seriousness, Floyd, Mangi, Ishwak, thank you so much guys for joining us on the show. It is only apt that this lovely conversation that we have, and in the end these anecdotes that you gave about what all these guys are eating, that as soon as I shut the show I'm going to be having a chocolate eclair. It only makes sense. Yeah, it only makes sense that you celebrate India's win with a
You
chocolate
can try
eclair.
the mango flavor, bhai.
Bhai.
I celebrated in the
वो घर
I
पे है,
celebrated
fridge
in the morning itself
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
nice donut.
India won, yaar, bhai.
Oh, you
India जीता,
celebrated,
bhai.
Yeah, in the
we
morning
did
itself with a nice donut for breakfast.
But I just one humble request from everyone.
मैंने वाजवान खाया भाई ऑलरेडी।
अरे सर फिर
अरे
तो
बोल
खत्म
रहा है
कहानी,
कोई बोल
खत्म कहानी,
अरे
फिर और
बस हो
बोलने की
गया।
जरूरत
मंगी
नहीं।
बोलता है
Top
मंगी भाई किस से प्ले आई एम स्टिल प्लेइंग भाई कौन है जो मैं लिखा अभी मैं कहा 7 aside
लिखा है
no,
उन्होंने
5 aside
मंगी भाई,
हाँ,
यू कैन
बोला
स्टिल प्ले अमित
यस
द्विवेदी।
यस 7 aside के लिए ना 5 aside
7
aside
साइड के लिए पाडू है, अगर करंट प्लेयर भी लाओगे उनको भी जीतने नहीं देंगे।
थैंक्स यार अमित
But sir, this sums up the show. Got to be the best and most inconsistent show.
क्योंकि हम लोग
Spot on.
7 साइड के अपने गोल से बाहर ही नहीं आते।
हाँ ये भी है, ये बात भी है। But just one request to all of you, please try coming during the SAFF. आप सब ने यहाँ पे पीटा है टेंटोरा ऑन कुवैत, so not just for
भाई लेकिन
Kuwait
हम
but
लोग नहीं होंगे ना, मैं और रेनी भाई नहीं रहेंगे सेफ टाइम।
अच्छा आप कहाँ पे होगे?
हम लोग प्रो के लिए जा रहे हैं ना भाई,
हाँ तो
हमारा हो
टाइम तो
गया।
आप
क्या बात है।
इंटरनेट तो देंगे प्रो
हम-
वाले सर आपको।
I'm
अरे
in
यहाँ
Bangalore.
पे
हाँ।
टाइमिंग
Floyd?
और फिर
I'll be in Bangalore for SAF. I'll be going to watch.
Oh,
the
brilliant, brilliant, Floyd. So then we will, please do try joining us.
Sure.
We loved having you on the
स्टेडियम
show.
से
It was brilliant and
इसको प्रेस बॉक्स में बिठा दो यार।
Live from the Kantirava, I think.
live from Kantirva.
That would be nice.
We'll put that live bug also. Breaking news भी डाल देंगे वहाँ पे. But guys, thank you so much, Mangi, Ishwak, and Floyd once again. Lovely having all of you. And just a reminder to anyone watching the show, make sure you listen to the entire show. It'll be worth it. Trust me, it'll be completely worth it. Thank you once again, guys. Good night and much love.
Good night.
Good
Bye,
night,
bye,
good night,
bye,
guys.
Mangi,
Good
bye.
night, good night. Good night, Floyd. Good night.